Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Irish column for Sunday, the 16th of March 2025, the day before Patrick's Day. My name is Paul Fitzsimons. I'm joined this evening by Martin Murphy. I better not get it wrong tonight. I better not call you Martin Casey tonight. How are you, Martin? How's things?
All good on the eve of St. Patrick's Day.
On the eve of St. Patrick's Day, and people are worried sick, Martin. I'm being honest with you. The amount of people contacting me, asking me, am I going here? Am I going there? And how's everything? Do you think there'll be a terror threat? And immaterial whether anything happens or not, the threat is still there. You know,
Did
it's
you see Shane James's video that he did in response to? He actually went to looking for superintendent to speak to in relation to
I
Tipperary.
did, yes, I did.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I
genuine
might
concern.
pull that up now in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like, we know the guards have said they're on alert. There's 400 extra guards being stationed around the Dublin parade. And when a concerned citizen went to speak to the guards, he was basically told it was all in his head and he's an extremist. Yet the guards themselves have come out and said that they're on high alert in
high
relation
alert.
to
Yeah,
Paddy's Day. Like, this is what you're dealing with. There's
it's
definitely there's a massive disconnect even between in society in general, but definitely between rural guards and we'll say the city guards, because the city guards are on high alert all the time, and
yeah,
the rural guards are kind of go, sure, it is all right, Jack. It'll all be fine. We'll have a cup of tea. It'll
but
be
that's the
grand.
way it is, isn't it? Yeah, that's the way they work it, isn't it? Actually,
Well,
we'll be grand.
I
See,
must tell you a good one in relation to somebody that I would have held in high esteem, and I'm not big for shitting on people, and I normally
yeah,
don't, I try, but I was, uh, this one just didn't sit well with me, so I'm going to voice it. A halal shop opened in Clonmel, and you know what halal is?
yes,
It's Muslim food. It's the
yeah,
brutal killing of animals, slitting their throats and letting them bleed to death while they twitch on the ground. It's horrific. It's absolutely disgusting process.
yeah.
The way to kill an animal is humane. The bolt is the
Bolt
most
in the
humane
head,
way to
yeah.
do it. Yeah, is the most humane and fast way to do it. Um, but a halal shop opened in Clonmel, and I'm sure nearly every community has one at this point.
They
And
have.
this is how it happens. This is how you were eradicated from history, one shop at a time.
Mhm.
But I saw on Facebook in Clonmel page that this had opened, and I went down to the comments. There was Matty McGrath
Oh,
wishing them
poor
well,
man.
wishing them the best of luck, and I just thought, there's another Healy Ray. Yeah.
Yeah,
So Matty
yeah,
McGrath, you've let yourself down. You've let your voters down, you've let your constituency down, and you've let Ireland down. And I said on Tip FM on numerous occasions, I would never, ever, ever run against you because I believed that you were
yeah.
for the
So
Irish
you're
people.
sick now.
You have proved me wrong, and I never mind admitting when I'm wrong. But yeah, Tipperary is going to be South Tipperary is going to be very interesting in the coming years.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Unless you're willing to issue a retraction or an apology for promoting brutal, absolute disgusting, brutal treatment of animals. And where are all the rights groups?
Yeah.
Where are all the where are all they? Halal is it means the animal has its throat slit slowly, and the animal is let to twitch. They actually torment and they put as much fear into the animals as possible. But look, I'm not going to get into the adrenochrome discussion or any of that. But
Why?
halal does not belong in this country. Islam does
Yeah.
not belong in this country. And Matt McGrath, I'm calling you out. You have made a mistake here, and you need to retract what you said, and you need to apologize to the Irish people for wishing a halal shop well. And that halal shop will get a lot of my attention, as will the proposed mosque that's going to be built in Clonmel. That's also going to get a lot of my attention. And I'm saying, I'm sure there's probably not many Islamists watching this now, but if anybody's watching, they can get a message out to them. We're at war, and I'm on a war footing with you people, and you are not staying in my country.
Mhm. You're
Rant
right.
over.
Yeah, Rando. I just want
I
to
was,
throw
I,
this out
yeah,
here. Go on, sorry. Go on, what were you saying?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm just not accepting it. I'm not accepting Islam.
You're right.
And it's. I've seen what happened in England. I've seen what happened in Sweden. I've seen France. It's not happening.
It's everywhere, everywhere you look, you know. And like, Corky sent me a message there earlier, and it seems that there was a girl nearly attacked in where's he from? Ballina. Anyone that doesn't know by now that Matty McGrath is fake must be valid. He voted against publishing TD salaries 2 weeks ago, along with Carol Nolan. They're full of shit. Yeah, I agree with you. I really do. Jesus, we've 60 odd comments already there.
Yeah.
Good man, Dinny. Well said, Martin. Yeah, everyone is with you on this one, Martin. And anyway,
but it's look, I'll admit it. It's not naivety. Everybody is good until they become my enemy, and you have to actively work to become my enemy, because that's not how I operate. I don't look for enemies. I'm like I said, I have to be up close to something before I can make an informed decision. But there's some other stuff I know that's going on in the background, I suppose, that would kind of obviously the vote in relation to hiding the TD salaries and expenses. Matty and even Carol Nolan both voted to do that, and there's somebody mentioned it in the comments there, so fair play. But that now was such an affront to me, the fact that he wished a halal shop in Clonmel. Like, Irish Town in Clonmel is going to become basically completely Islamic. Because the mosque is going to be there, the halal shop is there. It's by design. These people are smart. They plan. There's a strategy behind it. It is well funded. There's huge money coming in from Saudi Arabia.
Huge money. And let's
unless,
not think the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization. Yaman El Kadri is the head of that in this country, and he is the head of a terrorist organization. That's what he is. Shut up, Alexa. Alexa's at the coming on there. She heard the change.
Just give her one of those. Give her one of those.
Yeah. Someone's putting in there, animal cruelty in this country is horrendous. And speaking of animal cruelty, we have a person coming up here now, Orla, who does a great work with the animals, the whole lot. So I'll just bring Orla up there and we can. Hello there. How are you this evening?
Hey, I hear Martin was calling me.
Yeah. I just called Alexa there and she's up to do it again.
Hold the plug in her.
Yeah.
I was just listening to what you were saying.
There, Freaky Gypsy's just saying, can't you just protest and make them see the locals don't want a mosque there? I don't think it really matters.
The same locals who protested against the huge, massive Ukrainian development. The same locals who protested against the hotel being turned into an iPass center, and the nightclub being turned into an iPass center. Yeah, there's a handful of good souls in every community, and by God, the people that are awake in Clonmel are fantastic. The work they've done is absolutely fantastic. They're fantastic people. Tiny minority, because most people, I'm all right, Jack.
I'm all right, Jack. I couldn't give a shit.
Nobody's killed any of my children yet. My kids haven't been mowed down in a Muslim hasn't driven a car through my children yet.
This is the problem. They have their electric cars and they're happy. They're 50 and 60 grand cars. They're 80 grand a year job. And they're loving it. They're watching the football. Now, I was watching the football myself today, don't get me wrong, but I still get out and do what I have to do. You know what I mean? These people, it's just, sure, we'll be grand. But we'll be grand until we're not grand. That's the problem here.
I won't save them.
I won't be either. I'm sick of this stage. I was talking to Gavin as well.
Yep.
Yeah, same here. I'll be saving my family and my kids. That's it. So it's every man for himself here, people. If you want to come in behind us, you can do that. No problem. I worked in Egypt. Don't start, Martin. Could make you cry. Yeah, I can imagine.
Don't get me started on there.
They've been ill-portrayed.
I'll tell you a good. Actually, my son came home, and we were chatting this morning, and he was going on about his Christianity, and he was saying that it was weird to hear these kind of words coming out of his mouth. He said, "I'm going to buy a Bible." And he said, "You don't understand." He said, "You've no idea what this means to me, and what I now see and I now believe." And It's kind of odd. It was odd coming out of a young man's mouth. You know what I mean? And he was there, but my friends are kind of getting into it too now. When we see the danger, and then he was actually talking about. He saw the video of the. I do remember a few years back, there was 12 Egyptians beheaded by ISIS.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they would not renounce their faith. And he said he watched that video, and it's fucking horrific. Like, but look, he's army, so they deal with this kind of stuff.
They did a cartoon about that. Did you see the cartoon? They didn't do it. It was like a documentary cartoon.
Yeah, I never saw that now. But he just said that the faith of those men, that they could have just said words to save their necks, but their faith was so strong that they didn't. And he just said that it just resonated with him. And like I said, he's going by the Bible. He says,
sorry, Martin. Each one of them had to watch the other guy being beheaded.
Yeah,
and still kept their faith.
Yeah,
you know, like, wow. I take my hat off to people like that now.
But that probably happened in Christianity as well over the years.
Yeah, just Adele is saying that. Why did it take you so long to realise they are all in it together? Sorry, but excuses, debts through the roof, and that does not bother you. McGrath, Nolan, Keohan, Healy Ray, clowns, all playing the village idiots to divert the people. They all know what's going on. Watch veganism rise now. You will be eating bugs.
I
won't be.
I don't mind. I don't mind admitting this. It's not a character flaw. It's. I don't make decisions lightly. I get all of the information, and I have to have concrete. If you talk to me in biblical terms, what I am is I'm a doubting Thomas, and I suppose that is a flaw. In relation to other people, I have to be definitive in my decision, as in I don't make. Yeah. That's the one. Well, that's the one we're talking
about. Yeah. You said you wouldn't talk about it, but
adrenaline, adrenaline. Yeah. It's about fear. It's all about fear.
It's about fear.
Yeah. But I don't make decisions lightly, and I have to be absolutely concrete in my decision before I will come out and openly say that this person has either let me down or I can no longer support this person. That there are some other things in the background, but that one today was the straw that broke the camel's back. That it was essentially the same as the Healy Ray's video, saying, "Oh, you're our new community," this, that, and the other, all kind of stuff. But that it's unforgivable. It's unforgivable for Matthew McGrath, who claims to be a person of the Irish people and supporting of the Irish people and fighting against government, to support any form of Islamist culture. He didn't need to do. He doesn't need to come out publicly and disparage them, but he doesn't need to say anything. But he wish them best of luck in Irish as well. Sorry, unforgivable. Unforgivable. Yeah. So Matty, you've made an enemy. You've made an enemy, and like I said, if you were to issue an apology, I'd reconsider my position. But no, it's unforgivable. Islam is the greatest threat to Irish society right now. The clear and present. There's loads of other threats, but the clear and present danger right now is the rise of Islam. Having been in Limerick quite recently and seen the mosques, plural. And the people going in and out there, and I stood and watched who was going in and out there, and you'll know by these people, the ones that make eye contact with you are not to be they're not to be feared. But when their extremists start acting out, they'll turn a blind eye. But the ones that don't make eye contact with you, the ones that look away, they're the ones you need to worry about.
I agree with you. I do.
Oh God.
Well, there's been a few things lately with Matty between, voting against the transparency. Mm-hmm. Then remember as well, he voted for Micheál Martin back in. Like, he didn't have to. He could have,
he could have
abstained, and he didn't.
Yeah. Now his excuse.
So there you go.
Yeah. So look, it doesn't matter. There's things I'll forgive. There's things I won't forgive. I will not forgive that. And I was an avid supporter. I now have enough knowledge and enough evidence to say that this man, this is not, anybody can support whoever they want. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying I, for one, will never be giving that man a vote again unless he was to publicly apologize for that and to say that Islam should not be promoted in this country or welcomed in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
And he's been up
Somebody
on
just-
several interviews, like knowing what's going on and been fairly fully awake to what's going on as well. So I don't know what to say. You know,
Somebody just posted in the comments there. Sorry, go on. You're all right. Somebody just posted in the comments. Sacred Heart Primary School in Killinarden has run out of money and all the iPads and talent. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yes, this is what I sent on yesterday. I did a post on it yesterday. Yeah,
Dear
school
parents
that
or guardians,
there's no money.
Our school has suffered massive funding, massive underfunding for many years due to cuts from the Department of Education. As a result, we have hit a major financial crisis. Following a board of management meeting on the 13th of the 3rd, that was only Friday or Thursday, our school have given the Department of Education notice that we no longer have money to pay our basic bills from the 1st of April 2025. We will have to close the school and teach remotely if emergency additional funding is not received. We are looking for your support to help us by contacting the Department of Education. Everyone should email the Department of Education on this one. We did it a couple of weeks ago for Coolock and everything else. I was on a call there on Friday as well, and we wouldn't have been on that call if we hadn't sent off emails and started pestering people, you know, in a sort of way. So you need to get your finger out, people. If you live in that area,
I would hold on, Paul. With a caveat, does that school fly the pride flag?
Now you have it. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so if that school has a pride flag or any of Norma Foley's disgusting educational program, or if it promotes Black Lives Matter or any of the nonsense that's been dealt with, or multiculturalism or open borders, do not give that school a penny, because I would rather our children be at home with the safety of their parents getting educated by their mums and dads than being in schools that fly those flags. So I would be, if somebody's on the board of management or has access to somebody on the board of management, make that school make that school a purely Irish educational school, and for Irish culture, Irish values, then support it locally. But if it is flying,
what I will say is
not a penny.
What I will say is, okay, I think the reason why it's not being funded is because it hasn't got all of those things.
Fair play to them.
You know what I mean?
If that's the case, fair play to them.
Yeah, because look into it there, people, because I don't think it is. You know what I mean? I really don't. You know what I mean? Yep. Someone was on to me there talking about it.
If it's a clean school with no pedophilic, disgusting crap in it, then by God, community support it. But outside of that, don't give them a penny. But find out first.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, we don't get properly organised. We're fucking finished. Yeah,
working on it.
Yeah,
we're working. We are working our asses off. If you knew the hours Orla, Paul, myself, Anthony, and other people were putting in the background every single evening, trying to get this thing off the ground and trying to get an actual a war front mounted on many different prongs. We're doing it. The question I ask is, what do you do? Reach out. We're all on Twitter. Reach out. Offer your support.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all on Twitter. You can get us here. I'll just put it up there as well. And we have been getting a lot of people ringing me on this and texting me on this. 089 203 1521. I actually went and met with a person, one of the girls I know from, one of the women I know from Wexford. She's getting a terrible time down there. Antifa are really acting the maggot down there with her. And I'm going to give her a shout out there. I'm not going to say her name on it, but she knows who she is. And fair play, I met her today, and she will have cameras up all over our house by the end of the week, I would say, because I met her today, and we met and we sorted out a few things. So, and what I wanted to ask was, I'll talk to you guys about it as well, getting a shin in the Dina or something in Wexford. If there's anyone in Wexford that can help this woman out, they're coming in. They blocked up her sewage tank, her septic tank last week. She only got it emptied last year. She only got it done last year, and it was blocked up to bits. They've broken her gutters. They've wrecked her car. She's a woman living with her son. You know what I mean? I think her son is in his 20s or something like that. But even still, you can't be having people outside your back garden throwing rocks in at you. And listen,
well, that's intimidation.
Yeah, it is. But nobody will help her. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody to help her down there. She's on her own down there. You know what I mean? And what I said was, I might even go down. I might even go down myself with a couple of the Shin and the Dana lads just to patrol that area 1 or 2 nights. You know what I mean? Just to let people see that people aren't on their own. You know, so
But why are they attacking her? Like, I mean, is she prominent in something?
She used to go to a lot of the protests and the whole lot. She was a big protester in 2019. She was one of the first to start off the GPO and the whole lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Then they set her up on a dodgy road traffic. Listen, she probably won't mind me saying this. You know what I mean? Because she told me all the story anyway. I won't go too much into it. But the police and this Antifa crowd in Wexford they're at her all the time. You know what I mean? At her all the time. And when she reports stuff, it's more or less they laugh. You know what I mean? Oh, you're mental or you're whatever. So, listen, if we can get some of the Shin and the Dana lads down into Wexford, we'll talk about it during the week. But please, the person I'm talking about, you know who you are. We will get you sorted in the coming weeks. Don't you worry. That's me finished. But you can contact us on 089 203 1521. Yeah. You can also get us on FitzyDub on X at FitzyDub, at Anthony L. Casey, at Ruggermove27, and at Facebook on Paul Fitzsimons. And you can get us live on the internet there on the web if you haven't got all of those things at www.theirishchannel.com/live. And you can comment there as well. Thank you. Okay.
There was actually a couple of questions in there a few minutes ago in relation to why there's not an outrage over halal, considering, you know, there'll be an animal activist group out there, you know, the pig factories, the live exports, the hair coursing, etc., etc. Now, there's a lot of there'll be a lot of those people. They're all the Palestinian crowd, the pro-Palestinian crowd, and I bet you that's why they're not doing it, because they'd all be for. Yeah. They're all for, you know, pro-Ukraine, pro-Palestinian. That's why they're not doing it.
But hold on,
I watched a video on X last night, and I was very sick after it. It was a factory that had goats in it, and there was a big protest over in the UK. And don't ask me how I watched it, but I nearly got sick. It was just disgusting. And the animals knew. They knew what was coming. They wouldn't go in. They knew. And they were being beaten and everything. It's absolutely
Orla, you're a vegetarian. You know what I mean? You're a vegetarian, so you don't realise the goodness in meat. You know what I mean? Like, listen, just kill them the humane way. Boom, into the head.
I don't eat meat a long time now, right? I mean, but I understand that a lot of people do. But as Martin said, there is a way to kill an animal. And it's not in a horrific way. It is not. No, animals deserve respect, and if they're going to be killed, it should be done in a humane way. Simple as that. And what's been done in those factories is not humane. And I actually wrote to my daughter's school there 2 weeks ago, and I haven't got a reply. So I'll be sending a little email again, just a reminder, because I wanted to ask: is halal food being served in the canteen?
There's a lot of them being served, and Anthony was only talking
because
about
a lot of people don't know. We don't know. That's the thing. You're not being told.
But it's you know what it is? It's the way this is with the halal, okay? It's exactly that nobody's speaking out about it. It's exactly the same way as these TDs don't talk about migrant crime and migrant rapes and women getting killed by migrants. Like in the last how many days has like one guy got 10 years. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But these same people, if an Irishman kills a woman, which I've seen it happening down in Ashfield, whatever it is, down by Castleknock, and Ruth Copinger and all her crew are all out, Rosa and all of these women and things about femicide. Where's the femicide? It's still a woman getting killed by an illegal immigrant. Why aren't they up in arms over this? It's the same way as they'd rather talk about badgers being killed and, you know, different stuff like that instead of the halal stuff. You know what I mean? The stuff that really matters. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just bullshit.
Well, you can't have one rule for one and one rule for the other. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'll call out on my page if an Irish man does something to a woman, I'll call that out as well. It's, you know what I mean? Because I'm not just going to be saying it's all foreigners. It's not all foreigners. There's plenty of Irish men out there that are arseholes as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot have one narrative. You know.
But Orla, look around you now. Irish criminals aren't doing anything anymore. It's everything in the paper is migrant. It's like as though the Irish criminals are either getting better at it or they're just at the stopping. You know what I mean? Like, you hardly hear, okay, we got a couple of taxi drivers there a few months ago. Do you remember that raped someone in the car and the whole? One fella got 18 years and one fella got whatever years. We did talk about that on the show as well. You know what I mean? We talk about everything on the show. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But if you look at the amount of taxis, even taxi driver, there was another thing that came up. I only spoke about it a few weeks ago. Do you remember about the taxi driver that raped the Down syndrome girl in 2018? I spoke about that. That was only brought back up again the other day. There's about 6 of them had to be brought back up by different people saying, like, in the last 5 years, look at how many taxi drivers have done this. Then you have young Lauren Spencer. Like, she was held in the car for, Jesus, 7 hours or 4 hours or something like that, and raped and tortured. And she only barely got out with her life. You know what I mean? And nobody's talking about this. And if she tries to speak out against it, or anyone tries to help her, the far right, that, something happens to an Irish woman, they don't care. But if it happens to an Irish woman by an Irish man, they're all over the news. You know what I mean? Femicide and
what do we always say? The dog would be named. Do you know?
And you see, look at Garda Patrol. I don't know whether any has watched that. I don't know what it's called now, but it's like the old Garda Patrol. 3 videos they showed last week, and the 3 of them were 3 Roma gangs robbing in the shops. You know what I mean? One had a dark headdress. Just call it what it is. They're Roma gypsies. If you've seen them, tell us where. You know what I mean? Instead, they try and hide it. And then they do the same with, there was another guy in Kerry. Okay, and they lighten the skin. But you could still see his bleeding lips and his curly hair. He was as black as the Ace of Spades, like. And he tried to tone it down. You know, he had a greyish complexion. He was black. Come on. You know what I mean? It's about time people cop onto this shit. What they're being shown on RTE. If you're watching shit on RTE, it's not true. Trust me. You know what I mean? That's it. End of story.
But you look, didn't our lovely Taoiseach come out recently and say, sure, what is vetting anyway? Yeah, sure, what is it? Sure, we don't need it. Do you know what I mean? What do we need it for?
Johnny Apocalypse there saying, why would I stay in a socialist shithole where I'm hated for my skin colour, religion and sexuality? A place where my son is in danger from Muslim conquest. Why would I stay in Ireland when Texas exists? Yeah, listen, mate. If I was 20 years younger, I'd be gone. I'd be gone. I'm being honest with you. I wouldn't. And like as I said, my brother pleaded with my nephew to come home from Australia, and I thought, why? Back to this shithole? Like, this is a kip now. We better move on with a video or something here. What will I go?
Like, Paul, I've given you about 150 things.
Yeah. This
could end up being like a 5-hour show.
No, it can't. It has to be 2. Jesus, we're 27 minutes in already. But I'll plug this for tomorrow. This is tomorrow outside RTE. We'll just go with this for a minute.
That's concerned about their nephews and nieces. We're all concerned around the country, normal people, and we're being called far right and racist every day by them.
There you go, people. St. Patrick's Day protest, RTE, 12 p.m. All the Says No groups, all vaccine injured, all victims of migrant crime, all Irish homeless. Join the movement as one. If you want truth, the truth in this country, then show up to stop the media lies. So if anyone can make it there tomorrow for 12, from 12 to 2, I'd say that'll be a good one. But what was I going to go with? Have you seen the Taoiseach's? Have we seen what the Taoiseach put out for the St. Patrick's Day festivals? Have you seen it?
No.
This was put out by the government. Spot the Irishman. Watch this now.
I've been loving you a long time. Down all the years, down all the days. troubles, smiled at your funny little ways. I took shelter from a shower, and I stepped into your arms. On a rainy night in Soho, the wind was whistling all its charms. I sang you all my sorrows. You told me all your truths. Whatever happened to that old song? To all those little girls and boys. Now the song is nearly over. We may never find out what it means. Still there's a light I hold before me. You're the measure of my dreams, the measure of my dreams.
All the Irish people walking away. You know what I mean?
How
Walking
many of them?
behind
How
them.
many of them are living in a hotel and getting welfare?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so fuck off, state.
Yeah.
Fuck off, RT.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. Well, that's why I said I have to show it. You know what I mean? The way they done it, they showed you the UN, they showed you the refugees.
The UN is a terrorist organization and nothing else. And actually, the amount of pedophiles in UN Concern and all of these NGOs working in the likes of the Philippines, they're basically fucking sex traffickers and nothing else and nothing more.
Yeah, well, you've seen it, didn't you? Weren't a lot of the French were all charged with that a number of years ago of raping a whole village.
Sure,
and it was all brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, it happened in Haiti, happened in the Philippines, it happens all over the place. It's just fucking lefties be lefties. Did you see the thing about that guy over in the UK? Prosecuted for raping the 12-year-old. One of the head organizers or head thingies of some pride group or something over in the UK.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, look, that's who's in these organizations. That's where they go.
Yeah.
It was actually last week I attended this. There was an event on. It was women in business, right? And I just had to laugh. It was like a luncheon as well, right? And on the table, these leaflets were being handed out, right? They just went around every table. And it was obviously to give a donation to a charity. And there was only one leaflet, right? And I had to laugh when I picked it up. It was for a charity shop, and an African charity shop. And I said it to my friend, and I said, why are you giving us a leaflet for an African charity shop? We have other charity shops like St. Vincent de Paul and all that here in Carlow. There's Bernardo's, whatever, And I just had to laugh. And she was like, oh, well, maybe they just decided to come in and, maybe nobody else decided to come in. And I just thought I just laughed because I just thought for the only charity that was there was not even for Irish people. The money, if you donated, was going to be going to Africa. I just thought, I don't know.
Look at all the money we donated when we were in school to Troker. We used to do pennies for the black babies. You used to fill that Troker box. And now the same fellas are here charging you 65 quid a pop.
You didn't think you were paying for their plane tickets, did you?
I didn't. But I didn't think I was going to be charged 65 quid to go and visit one.
I pointed out one to I'll just call them an elderly couple I know in relation to Trocras. They got their Troker boxes for Lent, and just on the front of it, it was talking about people displaced due to climate change. And I just tapped on the little envelope, and there was a genuine concern as to whether what they would do with the money they had saved for the Troker box. It may be going to a certain political party now, or a section of it may be going to a certain political party now, as opposed to the corrupt organization that is Trócaire. And look, I don't mind saying these things because Trócaire, Concern, this, that, and the other. It's not about charity. It's about CEOs' wages, massive amounts of government funding. There may be a tiny trickle down amount that actually goes to communities, but that saying of give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for life. I would say no fish. Close your borders and let people fend for themselves, and you know what? They'll eventually figure it out. It's as simple as that. Every country just needs big walls, fences around their borders. We're grand. We went through our tough time. We came out the other end of it. Up with the fences now, and let the rest of the world sort itself out.
I agree.
I don't care about shithole countries. I don't care. Figure it out. Our people have struggled enough. We did our time. So fences up.
Well, in relation to Trócaire and Concern, they are banned in our house because
You're right.
my husband did his 21 years in the army, did 3 trips abroad. He was in the Leb, he was in Liberia, and he was in Chad. And let's just say the horrific stuff he saw over there was unbelievable. Like stuff he wouldn't even talk about. But he saw the carry on of what went on with them. The army lads, they were peacekeepers. So a lot of times they're hanging around during the day, not an awful lot to do, just minding the perimeters and all this sort of stuff. And they offered the priest who was involved with, I can't remember whether it was Trócaire or Concern. Doesn't matter, they're both the same. And the lads offered to help build a playground for the children because the children had nothing. And they were going to do it for free. They would have been delighted to do it because yourself, Irish lads, happy to help out, give them something to do. So, for the children. And they weren't allowed to do it. And they would have offered all their services for free. And bear in mind, in the army, anyone knows you do all your different training, whether you're a mechanic, a plumber, electrician, etc., it doesn't matter, carpenter, whatever, you can do it through the army. But they were not allowed to build a playground for free for the children. Now, what does that say? Jared came home and he was so utterly disgusted. He said, never, ever is 1 cent to be donated to those organisations because that money is not going where it's supposed to be.
Never. I never had.
He saw it with his own eyes.
Like they used to put the thing around in the pub, someone would come in for Concern or one of them or UNICEF and I just brush it aside and people think, oh, you hungry fuck, you're not going to give them that. No. Why? That's all a scam. And there you go. Johnny Apocalypse just says it there. I worked for Concern. 90% of every euro, so 90 pence of every euro goes to paying people in the company. 10% goes to the relief. It's a scam, and they are proud of their 10%. So no way, man. Any of them scams.
If you want to donate to organizations, I'll give you an example.
Remember Bunny Carr?
What's Bunny Carr?
Bunny Carr. Bunny Carr used to be a daytime TV host when I was a kid. Yeah.
Was that back in the 1920s?
I know.
You're so old, Paul. Like even compared to me, you're so old.
See, you don't realize. I'm actually the Highlander. I've been around a long time, mate. Yeah, I have.
Paul's been knocking around for. Paul actually met St. Patrick.
Conor McLeod is my name. Yeah, Conor McLeod. Yeah, not really, Paul.
Actually, Joan, I see your comment there about feeding the homeless. There is a crowd I've given a shout out to a few times called the Liberty Soup Run in Dublin, and they are out non-stop feeding the homeless. And they're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, so reach out to them. They do phenomenal work. You can either donate food yourself or you can donate money through Revolut. And if you want to donate, there's plenty of decent charities out there. And I know that myself.
There's another one down in Limerick that does the same thing. They set up a table and feed the homeless people like that. So most of the cities have an actual independent homeless charity. That you remember. The government tried to stop and shut down on numerous occasions for various different reasons because they don't want proper organizations helping people. That did it during COVID. After COVID, they've tried to shut down that soup run in Dublin numerous occasions. There's another one in Limerick. I'm sure Waterford has one. I'm sure most of the cities, Cork probably has one. Support them. Give your money to them. Buy food, buy bread, buy whatever. But do not give to these big NGOs. Right, the money is not going where you think it is. Okay, so
no, it's not. That's why you support smaller charities, and you can check it out. This is all public. Like all the funding is public knowledge. Do you know what I mean? So as I said, you support your local charities and your smaller charities. And that's where if you want to donate money, or volunteer.
Yeah.
Paul, what's the threepenny?
What?
What's the
What's a
threepenny?
threepenny?
Yeah.
Well,
What's the
who said
threepenny, Paul?
3 pence.
Can you add up the 2 and 3 pence? Like, how much is that in old pounds?
Is that not 13? 13 pence.
I don't know.
Is it
You
2
would there. You
shillings?
tell
Is
me.
it 2 shillings and 3 pence? 2 and 6
Will you
pence.
give him a minute?
2 and 6
You
pence.
have to get out the quill and the paper to write it all out. The abacus, Paul. The abacus.
Stop it. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to give a shout out to the people of Coolock as well. Coolock says no, fair play to you, a year today and standing strong. And the people of Coolock says no. What do we say? Coolock says no.
Says no.
I think this government have bit off a bit more.
Is that actually a year ago?
Yeah.
A year. We found out by fluke a year ago, that beds got delivered in where they shouldn't have got delivered. And, this was supposed to be, the community were supposed to know about this. We were supposed to tell them. And if we hadn't have found out that the beds went in there, they'd have been snuck in there in July last year.
Did you guys see the article about the leaked article about the government considering softening its approach on IPAS centres in community? Like, that's Coolock's work. East Wall and Coolock would have been the two strongest voices that and just because they're so close to
the Soyak building now in Clondalkin as well. There's a lot of them out there too. They're holding it now. They're all in there. Don't get me wrong, but they're there every night.
But like I said, in relation to getting coverage and getting out there, Coolock, East Wall, and Newtown Mount Kennedy. You know what I mean? They were the three. Everybody did sterling work around the country. Our tiny minority of people, but they're the big three, so to speak, that really got international attention. And the fact that there's still fires going on in Coolock is brilliant. Keep them lit, lads. Keep them lit.
Well,
Jeez, I can't believe
it's not us that's lighting the fires. I'm just going to put that out.
Look, climate change is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. We just pay more taxes and climate change will go away.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you. You burn that place down. You burn that place down, you're releasing toxins. You're releasing
asbestos.
You're releasing asbestos into the atmosphere there around Coolock. People will be dropping like flies. So,
So you're saying a couple of bulldozers, just if they magically ran into it, would be a better approach.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But sure.
Jeez, it's not that.
Have you seen the new bulldozer they have? Have you seen
the
big white JCB that they have? The big huge one. Have you seen that one? The big new one. Wow, that's a baby. I'm just going to play this for a minute. This is it. Coolock was today, and Newtown Mount Kennedy was yesterday, I think. So I'm just going to play this. It's a minute long.
Good man, Ferg.
Fair play to them all.
Always attached to that flag.
Coolock says no. And do you know the only day he was without a flag? I gave him mine.
Yeah.
Swear to God. And that was the day I got arrested. Yeah. I had no flag. Fair get me back the flag when I was walking away, and I had the flag over my shoulder, and that's the day I got arrested. Yeah. Well done, Coolock.
Do you have anything from? Do you have anything from? Just we were talking about flags. Have you anything from Conway's?
No, I didn't see anything that come up. Have you anything there?
It's on my phone. I'll try.
You have something on your page, Martin.
Orla,
that was lovely. That mural with Tom.
Orla, our media whiz. Can you pull that and upload it?
I can upload it. Where is it on your Twitter page?
It's on his Facebook or X page. It's actually lovely, the mural with Tom. I thought that was really nice.
I did see that. I did see
my
that.
God, it was someday. It was
How
absolutely
did it go?
It was glorious. There was somebody
I'm looking
shining
at me
down.
now.
It was just the sun was splitting the rocks driving up there, and like the Ox
Oh yeah,
Mountains
we
are
saw that video of you sitting in the car.
I
Saying
had to do it.
Ireland is such a beautiful country when the sun shines.
Can I tell the truth why I did that? I was actually I got caught outside a small little village behind a funeral. And it was a very large funeral, so the traffic was moving very, very slow as the hearse drove on. So I was basically crawling along, and I was just there. Obviously, very sad to be in the funeral, but the countryside, it just looked. I can't explain it to you. It just, whatever part of the country I was driving through. I think I might have been still in Mayo, but it was just beautiful. It was just absolutely fantastic. So, you know what, I'm going to put a video out just to say how beautiful this country is. But,
I know. I thought you were going to say something like, I thought it was going to be going on like for a couple of minutes, and it was like literally 5 seconds.
Short and sweet. Yeah, to the point.
Martin, do you know what the most important thing was? Your hair looked great.
Hair always looks great.
Hang on, as it always does.
As it always does, yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? I literally dragged myself out of bed because I stayed in Tuam the night before, and I met a cousin I didn't know was my cousin, and went on the absolute batter. So you know, even when I'm shook, my hair still looks good.
I'm gonna share it here. I'm just gonna share it here. Okay, I'll share the screen. This is where he's wearing yesterday. Conway's Farm yesterday. It was a great day had by all. I'll just share this and we can go with that then. Yeah.
Start counting all the days. Forever I will stay with you. With you and only you. Go far and roam about. Come back and calling out to me. To me and only me. Start counting all the days.
That's all. It's only 20 odd seconds.
The mural is fantastic, but that was early. That was early enough in the morning. Like there was probably about 60, 70 people there in total by the time the mural was unveiled. And it was lovely. And Tom was there, and it was just he made a lovely speech, and James recorded it all, so it'll be available on the James Conway Experience. It'll be on his Patreon account, so sign up for James's podcast and sign up for the Patreon as well to see all the video footage, because he had 2 people there filming all day, so all the footage of the day is it will be available on James's Patreon account. And he's doing the work he's doing. We planted an oak tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and they planted an apple. So all the kids that were there planted an apple tree, and we planted an oak tree, and everybody got in a circle. And you know the Spirit of Freedom, the shaman, you know that TikTok account, you know the kind I'm talking about. So he did a lovely ceremony, and it was lovely. I have to say, because the sun was splitting. There was drums, and there was just. Oh, it was amazing. And then everybody put something into the hole with the roots of the tree. You know what I mean? A handful of soil or anything like that. I had a rock with me that has been in my car with me for years that came from a beach. And it's been in the car for years. And I put a wish into that. And I mean, I genuinely put everything that I am into that, and I put it into the ground. And if I'm still alive in 20 years' time, I'm going back to see that tree and take my wish back, and hopefully we'll have achieved something. But
hopefully your wish will have come true before you go up.
It's just look, I always talk about the multi-pronged approach, but what Conway is doing up there it's just another level. It's if we could just replicate that all over the country, we'll have done massive work. You know, we can work in the politics, we'll work in the media, we'll work in everything else, but that Conway's concept, his idea, of getting people involved. And Paul, you see the group, you're in the group, you see the community, you see the chats that are happening there, you see the information that's been shared there, the knowledge that's been shared there.
I throw in, I put in the show, and that's it. I'll probably put in one thing, or I'll comment on something.
Paul.
The amount of stuff that goes in there.
Conway says you're not allowed put anything else in unless you plant something on your windowsill or plant. No, I'm serious. Plant something, stick it in, put up a picture, and then you've right.
You know what I have? You know what I planted? That's beautiful. I have lilies, big white lilies, and they come to about that size every year.
Bang them
beautiful.
in. Yeah.
I have them already in. They're done. I can't eat them, but I can look at them. I can look at them while I'm eating. You know. Yeah.
But stick something in the box. Do you not see my spuds planted in?
I did. Yes, I did.
You can grow it and anything. Yeah.
I don't do the shopping
and
now.
I must be a bad influence on you, Martin, sending you over the dark edge. I saw you join the herbal group. Was it today?
I'd been meaning to, but there's so many WhatsApp groups now at the minute that I was hesitant to. But I know somebody in Clonmel, a couple of people in Clonmel that are in that group. Lovely lady called Tracy, and they've got some fantastic stuff and actually have stockpiles of certain seeds and certain bits and bobs that are very, very good for you. So I need to start looking at that, because there's none of us will be able to have everything, and you're going to need your herbalists, you're going to need your healers, you're going to need your people who know what's safe to eat, what's safe to grow, what's safe to X, Y, and Z. So I joined the buy and sell as well, because I'm looking for a deal on something.
I'm in all of them. Yeah. But I just gonna we're at the deal on Newtown Mount Kennedy. That was yesterday, and today this is the Coolock one. They just put this together. I just seen it on their Facebook page, so I'm sure John will be happy with this one and that I play this one. So we'll just play this for a minute. Yeah, so we're not going to back down. And as I said, we were on a meeting the other day, and I think they got the message. Like, there was meetings that were had in the background, none of us were allowed on them. None of us were, they were all secret meetings, you know what I mean? And bullshit meetings, you know what I mean? They were doing deals saying they'll do this and do that, and like, they never contacted any of the Coolock Says No people, you know what I mean? The real Coolock Says No people. And don't get me wrong, I don't know who they did contact. They contacted some people, all right, but the people who from Coolock, who we represent, you know what I mean, were not asked to these meetings. So we got to the meetings on Friday. 3 of us got on the call, and probably 4 of us, and asked the questions and told them why Coolock Says No. And I think Alan Mains and Paul Collins went away from that meeting thinking, listen, these mean no. You know what I mean? This is it. You know what I mean? And that's what I got from the meeting. Now, I know there was a lot of people on the meeting. There was about 15 or 20 people on the meeting, but that's what I got from the meeting. He knows now it's not to be messed with. You know what I mean? So, Coolock Says No.
Good stuff. Just that one in relation to this. So you might see the social media campaigns that get massive support. They probably get government funding as well. But the Muslim Sisters of Era, right?
Yeah.
Terrorist organization. They are a terrorist organization. Do not support them. Don't believe the propaganda. Islamists know how to use propaganda. Okay, so they know how to paint the pretty picture. But do not buy into it, right? Some of these women are just literally controlled by the men who tell them what to do, and some of them are genuinely dangerous. So do not.
Well, some of them are Irish. Some of them are Irish, and after being radicalized or whatever.
Yeah, it's probably a conversation we need to have about. As in, do you remember back in okay, so in my time and in your time, Orla, and in Paul's time, it would have
They're
still
all
been
my time. What do you
No,
mean? They're
but
all my time.
Now, we're not talking back in the 1800s now.
but
We can
it
talk
would have
about
been
that as
no,
well.
it
Go
would
on.
have been hang on, it would have been frowned upon to have a child out of wedlock, right? And I'm only going
Yes.
back to the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
It started to kind of loosen up in the late 90s, but it would have been frowned upon. Ladies of era, you deserve better, and you should drop the feminism and this independent I'm a this, that, and the other, and stop shacking up with foreign men. There are fantastic Irish men who will treat you with dignity, respect, and will be a father to your children. Stop sleeping with foreign men. Okay? They're not the same as us. We do not, we like I said, I always say that, yeah, love is love. That's fine. If a guy wants to convert to Christianity and marry an Irish woman, that's okay. That's fine. And there are fantastic Christian men from other nations that have the same moral standards that we have. At the very least, they must have that. If you marry an Islamist man as an Irish woman, you are subjecting yourself to the life of a dog, because that's what you are rated in their
I've
religion.
seen it.
You are a
I've seen
dog.
it.
So Irish women, do better. Do better. Irish men, do better. Marry your
Yeah.
woman, raise your children, be a good husband, raise your kids, raise them strong, and that's it. That's your job. As a man, that is your job.
Yeah.
Personal responsibility. Everybody needs to start taking personal responsibility. And I'm going to start being very, I'm not tiptoeing around it anymore. I've no time for weakness, I've no time for cowards, and I've no time for people who will not take responsibility for their actions. Your goal in life as a man is to meet a suitable partner, fall in love, have a family, have 6 children, a minimum 6 children.
Hey. It's not up to the bloody man. It's up to the woman.
At a minimum, as a couple,
No, it's not,
have
Orla.
6
Just shut up.
children. Have 6
We're
children.
going back to the 80s. We're going back to the 80s here now, right? Go on then.
No, you're just doing that because you're in Dublin and I'm in Carlow. Wait till I see you the next time.
6
I've
children.
seen this.
Yeah.
I've
And that's-
seen
and
this
that's-
happening, Martin. This whole Muslim thing. I know a girl. Now I'm talking, Jesus, 1995. That's 30 years ago. Okay, 30 years ago, I was going out with a girl who, and her brother's, my brother's girlfriend's, whatever it was. Right? They were in-laws or whatever. Okay, she married an Iraqi guy. Okay, lovely girl, beautiful girl, and within a year, she was wearing all the gear, the whole lot. She had to walk behind him, and they went on holidays, and she wasn't allowed to take off the thing. She had to wear the thing, and they were on holidays with her father and mother and the other brother-in-law. And the other brother-in-law was mad. He was my mate, right? He was mental, right? He said, "What the fuck is going on here? You were wearing a bikini last year. You know what I mean? There was no problem, and now that you're married to him, you're not allowed to." Just all bullshit like this. You know what I mean? But he done the best ever. I swear to God, he walked into it was a christening or something, right? Whatever, right? And they're all sitting there, they're all standing beside the husbands with the hoods up and the whole lot. You know what I mean? And the husband walked over and kissed his missus. Okay, oh hi. He walked over, and every one of the women at the back, hello, lifted up the thing. There was fucking murder in the place. Murder. But he didn't care, you know, he was mad.
Yeah.
You know, he was just mad. He didn't give a shit. Like, so shout out to John if you're watching.
Oh, that is funny.
Well done.
But I remember there was a video there recently, and like there was a Muslim man like that, and he was turning around saying that, you know, their women are not allowed to even wear perfume because that will attract other men, and that, you know, pretty much saying it's the fault of the woman if anything ever happens, you know, that she's encouraging it by wearing perfume, you know. And then there was an interview with another woman, and she was completely covered over. I mean, there wasn't even, you know, the eye, you couldn't even see her eyes, and her hands, like there was gloves on her hands. She was completely covered, you know. And I just thought, oh my God, like you talk about like the, you know, the different levels. And I worked in a solicitor's office a few years ago, and I was just being a bitch. But this couple came in, and the woman had the hijab on her. And like that, her mouth and all was covered over. And I think they were looking for passports or some sort of identification thing, whatever. But every time I asked a question, now it was for her, he answered, right? So what do you think I did? I spent the whole conversation addressing her, looking at her, you know, while he answered. I didn't give a shit, I didn't even look at him. Because again, at the end of the day, it was paperwork for her. But every question I had, I asked her. You know, because I just thought
he still answered.
yeah, but I just was being a bitch. You know what I mean? I addressed everything to her.
Got to throw this out here from Maura Fahy. Why isn't more done in Knock? Why aren't Knock and Mayo people up in arms? Knock was the most holy place. Catholics and Christians from all over Ireland have visited, from all over the world. Do they realise a hotel and guest house are being filled with Muslim men, unvetted criminals, etc.? Why were there only 100 odd people protesting last couple of times? Listen,
Why, Maura? We don't know why.
We don't know, Maura. It's like it's the same. It's the same no matter where you go. I'm just telling you out straight, people. This is why we get a bad rap off the Gardaí and off the media and off everything else. It's because it's the same people down there trying to stop this happening. It's us. It's 100 or 150 of us, and like then on a bank holiday you might get 10,000 out, but then they go home. Like you need to be getting these people out all the time. But protests
I already know the answer to this question, and this is what we're going to combat. A third of the population is employed by the state. A third of the population is on welfare from the state, and the other third of the population is working to pay for the other 2/3 of the population. The 1/3 that's paying for the other 2/3 has the most debt, i.e. mortgages, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, they cannot afford to lose their jobs. Therefore, they are kept in fear. Greed is fear, debt is fear, and they're kept quiet. There are some of us who are none of the above, or have made it so that we can be in the third that's paying for everything, but are untouchable. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But that requires sacrifice, and a lot of people are not willing to make the required sacrifice. There's a very small minority of us that have made the decision that we're going to make that sacrifice. I don't expect everybody to do it. I wish there were more, as make our lives a little bit easier. But if this was easy, everybody would do it. I'm proud to be one of the people who has courage and humility, and that's all you need. Courage and humility. Same as yourself, Paul. Same as yourself, Orla. No egos. Just bravery and willingness to stand up and say and do what needs to be done. And we're all just a tiny little piece of the puzzle. You know, we're all just one. We're just doing what we can do. And maybe if everybody just considered giving an hour towards the cause, or doing a little bit more, you know, having a few more conversations, having a come on the show. On the show, send a message saying you'd like to come on and have a chat. I want to, you know, we'd love to hear from more people rather than being. There's loads of people in the chat here, loads of regulars.
Loads of regulars,
send Paul a message. Come on. We Paul, you could have a slot for 15-20 minutes a night where a regular comes on and just tell your story. Tell us what's happening in your area. Tell us what you're doing in your area to try and. We need ideas. We need suggestions. There's loads of avenues. There's media avenues. There's political avenues, and there is civic responsibility avenues. Shindadina, Ireland First, and the Irish Channel, Irish Column. Oops. The Irish Column. There's loads and loads and loads of
minutes to midnight. You've loads.
Do you know, I haven't had time to do one in 3 weeks.
I know.
I'm meetings every single night. I just haven't had time to do one, but I will get it out again at some point, as soon as I can find. Just Wednesday is just a good night for everybody from the political side to have a meeting. So I'm caught up for hours. Like they go on till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Like, But yeah, you know, the more people that get involved,
if everybody did a small bit, it's amazing how things would change. And I sent on actually a video to you, Paul, from X, and I think it was a protest over in, God, was it France? And like the streets were black with people. Like literally, you could not see any of the streets. But that's a proper protest. Not a couple of like 10, 20, 30, 40 or 100 people. Like there was thousands and thousands on the street.
You even look in Coolock. Okay, you look in Coolock. there was a protest called there for, for one of the days. And we got 4,500 people from Coolock and surrounding areas to that. That was amazing. Okay. And then what happens is you call another protest and not as many people come, or then there's infighting in the camp. There's people don't want to talk to other people, so people don't come to the camp. Then there's a protest called and people don't come. You know what I mean? You get a handful coming and it's the same handful. You know what I mean? But now that the Coolock people are together now as one. They're back together now. They're all talking. Everybody's happy. They're all standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder. So that's the way we should all be now in all the communities. You need to be getting your people out. Like that protest in Coolock was the first protest my dad was ever on. You know, maybe years ago he was, I don't know. And he got pepper sprayed for that. So how many other old people is looking at that and go, oh, I'm not going up there. Harry Fitzsimons got pepper sprayed. You know what I mean? And like, it's, you know what I mean? People, we need to get out. Get out. You can't have it being us all the time. And me, Gavin Pepper, Ferg, you know, and all the other lads that go out to all the protests. You know what I mean? You've Clive, you've Django, there's millions of us that go. I'm not saying millions of us, but there's a good crowd go. But it's the same crowd all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting tarnished by the media and by everyone else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know.
People, you need to get off your arse and come out and help.
It's going everywhere, Paul. But it's everywhere. Like, I mean, I saw it last year at the protest in Carlow. Like, there was hardly any of us doing it. Like, that protest went on for 3 months.
Yeah.
And there was only a small handful. There was the same couple of us doing the morning shifts, and there was the same crowd doing the evening shifts. There was only a handful. Look at last summer as well, when we were at St. John's Hall in Kilkenny. Again, like that, there was only a few people there as well. Look at the size of Kilkenny, and this was in the city as well. Like, unfortunately, you just can't drag people off the streets. You know?
We all canvassed last year twice. I canvassed twice last year. Okay, I canvassed up here and I canvassed over in Dublin Bay North in the elections. I knocked on 6,000 doors. I know what people's feelings were. I know what people were telling me back.
I know.
My dad's a taxi driver. He was listening to people in the car telling them, fair play, your son is doing right. Everything is right what he's doing. Fair play. I love it. You call a protest. They're either in the bookies or they're somewhere else, or they're watching a match, or they're playing snooker, or they're having a few points. You know, it's just like the people are sitting behind the doors and they're talking amongst themselves. Oh, yeah, they're right. This is happening and that is happening. You know what I mean? But unless you get off your arse and give a dig out, we're going to get nowhere. Really, we're going to get nowhere. It's gone ridiculously.
But like when you see the protests over in other countries, like there's thousands and thousands and thousands on the street. That's a proper protest, you know.
Yeah, but
that's
James is talking there. Protests change sweet fuck all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I get that. But the next one is not going to be a protest, James.
But you know what? You know what people don't understand when we talk about numbers. This is the thing about Ireland. This is why it's so important that we stop immigration. You're looking at protests where they might have thousands and thousands of people out there, but their population is millions and millions. They have 18
millions and millions, yeah.
We have a tiny population. Our population is tiny as a percentage.
Yeah.
The people who go out and protest in those countries it is probably higher than it is in Ireland, but not by much per capita. So we're a small population. So getting 10,000 people out in the street is actually a big deal in Ireland because we are such a small population.
Yes.
We're in a very interesting conversation about the soul of Ireland and our souls and stuff like that. We are a broken people. We were broke over 800 years, you know what I mean? And we never really found ourselves, if you know what I mean. So like, and we're still a very young nation. Like America is older than Ireland in relation to a state, in relation to the state of Ireland, not the nation of Ireland, but the state of Ireland. You know, so we're young. We're still finding. We haven't been given the opportunity to find ourselves and who we are and what we are. And we're going to be denied that completely because we're going to be fucking India or Pakistan or Africa. So that's why you need to fight. I'd rather my grandkids or great grandkids truly find out what it is to be Irish. You know, so far removed from the Troubles, so far removed from the War of Independence, the Civil War, so far removed from the famine, genocide. You know what I mean? So that's it. So in 3 or 4 generations, they're the people who will discover what it is to be Irish. But not if they're all fucking Indian or Pakistani or African or Islamists.
Yeah.
So you need to. Oh God, we're talking in echo chambers. There's no point. Everybody listening.
I'm just thinking, here, Paul, you'll get this now. Imagine years to come. We'll say if we do have grandchildren, right? Our kids have do bring children to the world.
I've been into grandchildren, so I'm around years, man. I'm the
Yeah, well, that's it. You probably million. But I'm just laughing. Like, imagine, like, our grandchildren are going to look at papers that we featured in. Like, I was in, what was it, the Daily Mail, or you were in the Sunday World. We're the modern day rebels.
My kids have seen that picture. My kids have seen that picture already, and they laugh at it. They think it's hilarious.
Do you know what? While we're on, big shout out to Debbie McCann.
Oh yes, Debbie featured me.
Yeah, you still never responded to my message, Debbie. Maybe Debbie.
Keep sharing.
You know what? As I said, I'll give her one thing. I was down the bottom with Gavin. Me and Gavin looked good. The other two up the top look like they've been let out for the day.
Yeah. We just reached 800 there, people. Keep sharing it out there. You can get us on all of them channels there.
The water protests. I'm too young to remember them. Paul, what were the water protests like?
Which water? There's been a few of them. No, but I'll tell you what happened with the water protests. Okay.
Is that when the water first came in, Paul? Do you remember that happened?
What happened? Through the aqueduct, yeah. What happened with the water charges here? Everybody was affected by it.
Yeah,
that's what happened here. Everybody in the country was being affected by this.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you had the big protests.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the country is being affected by migrants. And
I know.
And what's happening is, Orla, the people in Fox Rock and Balls Bridge are voting in these politicians to make our communities less safe. They don't give a shit. They live in the ivory tower out there. You know what I mean? With the likes of Coolock, Darndale, Airfield, Harmonstown, Raheny, you know, they're all in that vicinity. They don't care.
I know.
They don't care.
But so
we got a great
we
vote out of there, but we didn't get the vote out of the other.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get the vote outside of there, you know.
But I seen it when I was at the protests in Carlow, like, because I would have been there during the day. And the ones that kind of we got the smart arse answers to when they were going by, either in the car or whatever, you always knew them. They were always either in the new car, the fancy clothes. You knew they had money, and they were always the ones that were given, you know, oh, you're a disgrace and you're a racist and you're this, that, and the other. But the normal working people, you know, they weren't like that. They came up and they were chatting to us, and they, you know, they were like, fair play to you and all that. But the ones that were kind of looking down on us were all the ones that probably have their mortgages paid off, their kids are reared, they have money in the bank, and they think none of this is coming to their door. But it is. It's coming to everyone's door.
They just don't realise it. That's the problem, Orla. They just don't realise it yet. And I don't know how I've copped it. I've copped it the last few years, the way this has been going. You know what I mean? So I've been talking out about it. You know, what's the Garda? Okay. Let me see. We had Gavin yesterday, yeah. I'm just going to play Gavin. Okay, this was Gavin yesterday talking. Go on.
Oh yeah, folks, Councillor Gavin Pepper, and I'm here on Henry Street, and I want to talk about another foreigner who came into the country, Randy Gladstone, 19 previous convictions, including rape and kidnapping, commits a sexual assault over here, he's after getting 10 years. How did he get into the country in the first place? Matt Carthy of Sinn Féin had the audacity to ask this question himself. Because of his pro-open borders and the Sinn Féin and all the politicians in the Dáil's pro-open borders policy, this has happened. A foreigner blew himself up in a hostel with a homemade device. A foreigner stabbed kids outside a school on Parnell Square. The Lord Mayor, Emma Blaine, laughed at me when I wanted to talk about the current crime crisis in the city. Days later, there was stabbings to death outside our house across the road in South Down Street, Lower. What's going on in this country? It's coming up to Paddy's Day, and there's already Interpol have said there's a potential terrorist attack going to happen on Patrick's Day that they're investigating. Why isn't this all over the media, and why are they keeping it silent? People are being told that everything's okay. Emma Blaine will be waving out the window as she marshals the Paddy's Day parade, acting like everything's okay. You know, they're all ashamed of the Irish flag, but it seems to be flying high now for Paddy's Day to show the world media that everything is OXO, when everything is not OXO. this country is completely falling apart. They're spending 2.75 million housing illegal immigrants that are not vetted properly coming into the country, while a school in Tala can't afford to pay its bills. What's the politicians got to say? Ask yourself, where's the taxpayers' money gone? They're wondering why people are angry, and it's because of them in the dog. So Kieran Cuddy, Shane Coleman, Conor Gallagher, Mary Lou MacDonald, Richard Boyd Barrett, Emma Blaine, Micheál Martin, Simon Harris, Ivana Bakic. These are all the same. These are all pro-open borders. They are no rearing. And whose safety is put at risk? The Irish people. Tourism is down 20%. Tourism spending is down 28%. Small businesses are struggling to stay open. Where's their taxpayers' money going? Look at how dead this street is this morning. And yeah, it's early in the morning, but still, it should have been more vibrant than this on Paddy's weekend. But the fact is, Ireland is no longer safe anymore, and the politicians in the door are the cause of that. I mean, to think that there's a potential, possible terrorist attack being investigated by Interpol that happened on Paddy's Day, and that wasn't all over the news, just shows you how bad and how out of touch the politicians are in this country. RTE and the government need to start telling people what's happening in Ireland, because it's just gone to the dogs.
It's true. It's true.
It's actually a sorry state of affairs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I have to say, it really is.
Do you know, like 100,000 go to that Paddy's parade, and like there's going to be children there. Like, what if something happens? And we've all warned about it, like, you know. But it'll be interesting to see what the crowds are like.
Yeah, it will be. I'm going to be honest. I'll be staying well away. Pepper for better. Pepper for better. Yeah, listen, I'm a big advocate of Gavin's. He's my friend. You know what I mean? And
but then
listen,
the thing is, well, we're all assuming it's Dublin that you know, if they're going to target, it'll be Dublin. How do we know it's going to be Dublin?
Exactly.
What if it's Galway? What if it's Cork?
Yes. And I've said it. You've said it. Yeah.
It might not be Dublin. There's big parades in those other counties as well, you know. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just hope nothing happens tomorrow. I'm down in Wicklow tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a charity event for the animal rescue down in Blessington tomorrow. So don't come down there.
No. They'll be all down there now tomorrow just because you're down there, Orla. No. But listen, everybody is talking about this, about Muslims taking over. Like, it's not just us. Like, the comments here are, you can see the comments there coming in. Like, you know what I mean? It's.
But look at that Gladstone man, right? He had 19 convictions. 19 convictions.
Yeah.
But then
I think I have the git talking about that.
Yeah.
I might just,
as a Taoiseach said, sure, what is vetting anyway?
What is, like, you know, come on, that's just you know, that's ridiculous. Carry on. What is vetting any? But what is vetting?
Out of curiosity, is any TDs actually going to be in the country tomorrow, or are they all halfway around the world?
Should they do fuck all in anyway? So what's the point in having them here? You know.
But is there any of them? Like, is there any here?
Healy Ray is the Taoiseach tomorrow, if that happens.
Oh, Jesus. God help us.
Everyone. Cheers,
Ireland's
everyone.
ruined.
I'm on the Morgan Spice.
You're on the what?
That.
Morgan
and orange. Morgan Spice.
With orange?
Oh, it's bleeding lovely with orange, yeah.
Ah, stop.
Martin, that's from 100 years ago.
Orange all the time. Orange all the time.
I wouldn't drink it with orange now.
Yeah, I do all the time, even when I'm out. If I go on the double Morgan Spice, listen, when you go on double Morgan Spice and orange, man, it's bleeding.
You're at something now. You've a mission to accomplish when you're hitting the double Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
I tell you.
If I go out with me mate, that's what we'd be on the doubles.
Can I tell you what I had yesterday? And I won't say from who, but I got my hands on a bottle of something.
Oh, that whiskey, was it?
No, it wasn't whiskey. It was poachine.
Poachine. Oh
no, hold on. I've drank poachine, and it's this fucking. It's like most of the time, like drinking pain stripper. It would kill you. But
I have some. Here.
This was poachine, with plum in it.
What?
Plum poachine made.
Who's plum?
Hey, maybe that's why it was so sweet. But my God Almighty, I have never tasted anything like that, and only for the fact I knew I had to get back into my car. I had to have one little taste of it, and that was it. But my God, I have never tasted anything as nice as it. So I'll definitely be going back to get my hands on a bottle of that. It was, I'm not joking, it absolutely delicious. And
got a bottle.
maybe I
I've
don't mind
never had
saying it.
Puffin.
I'm snobby
What?
about my drinks.
Yeah. No, I've never had it.
I gotta be honest, right? I used to go down to Achill all the time, every bank holiday weekend, like, you know what I mean? And I used to do all the, listen, I do all the jobs down there for home say, like, you know what I mean? I needed, because our dad died, so I helped out then, you know? But then I used to get loaned out to the other ones in the village, you know what I mean? Oh, Mary needs this done, or Johnny needs this done, you know, just shit like that. But one of the outfits gave me, but one of the outfits gave me a bottle of poaching. He's a sound outfit, right? He said, "Here, take that with you." He said, "Have a drop of it." So I had a drop of it, and this is at 2:00, right? 2:00 in the afternoon. I fixed his telly or something, right? And he gave me a sup of it. Then he gave me another one, and then as I was leaving, he said, "Here, take that one with you." He says, "But just take it easy." By 6:00, I couldn't bleed and walk. I went into the pub to watch the rugby, and I was like, had to be carried out the pub. I still have the bottle of it here. It's lethal.
Oh, I've never had poaching.
Oh yeah, lovely.
Get the plum stuff if you're trying it. You won't like the other kind.
No, I think I'll just stick to my Bulmers. That's my drink, so I'll stick to it.
Yeah. Is it Dublin? Hang on, I'm just going to play the Git joke here. Well, Jesus Christ, we're flying here we are. This is your man, Randy Gladstone. He's just talking about your man.
Man jailed for 10 years over rape of woman at holiday complex. Randy Gladstone, formerly of Guyana, was found guilty by a Central Criminal Court jury earlier this year of 1 count of rape, 3 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of false imprisonment in a holiday complex in County Dublin. He has 19 previous convictions from the UK, including for rape, kidnapping, robbery and false imprisonment. Actually, that'd be gang rape, and he's barred from the UK. They'd make you believe he was here on holiday by saying holiday complex. I'm sure it's only a coincidence that some holiday complexes around the country are now IPAS centres. Either way, he wasn't here for a holiday. Sinn Féin TD Carty, we need an investigation into how a convicted rapist banned from Britain as a result of convictions there came to Ireland to carry out another heinous crime. Ireland for All Solidarity March. That's Ireland for all. Now, unless I entered an alternative universe, that there is the Sinn Féin logo. Sinn Féin have been front and centre at every single one of the Ireland for All marches. And if concerned people are protesting against plantation centres going into their communities, Sinn Féin councillors and TDs often attend the counter-protests. Ogra Sinn Féin, a First Minister for all, a new Ireland for all.
It concerns me that anybody would have anti-immigrant views.
Do you support open borders?
I support no borders.
You can't limit numbers. You can't limit numbers.
Have bowed to the pressure of the far right, happy to castigate vulnerable persons as security threats in order to put up barbed wire, harden the borders and keep people out of Fortress Europe. No human being is illegal.
Sinn Féin Ardèche 1998. Sinn Féin will work for the achievement of the optimum position of no restriction on immigration into Ireland. No restriction. Kearney, a multiracial and multicultural Ireland is our ambition. Sinn Féin Gavin called for significant increases in number of migrants. Carty, you can pretend you care all you want. As you're well aware, he's not the first convicted rapist to come into Ireland and then go on to rape someone. He's not even the first to do it after being in the country just a few days. You and the rest of Sinn Féin have screamed for an Ireland for all. Well, now you've got it. And you're part responsible and complicit for these heinous crimes.
Yeah, bloody hypocrites.
Well said, yeah.
Hey, they're building their vote base. That's all Sinn Féin is doing, building their
Of
vote
course
base.
they are. Mary going around with her hijab.
Yeah, that's all they're doing, building their vote base. But don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Sinn Féin are the enemy, communists. Nothing else. Absolute and utter communists. And anyone who supports them is a communist. And like I said, if you're still with them, thinking about the old glory days, right? Like they were communists back then as well, but they were just fighting a different war. Get out now because the tide is turning. And
listen, there's a video there of Mary Lou reading the Quran in the Dáil. Need we say anything more than that?
No. I seen a picture there the other day of a flag being hoisted, the Pakistani flag being hoisted outside one of the council offices. Come on, lads.
One down
You know.
here in when I was at canvassing in Tinryland in Carlow, there's a Sinn Féin office there, and on the office was a Palestinian flag. Not an Irish flag, Palestinian flag. Sinn Féin.
But this is, I'm going to be honest, this is getting voters. That's what this is. This is the same thing has happened in America. I'm going to play a video here now. Okay, this is Elon Musk, right? He's on Joe Rogan. Okay, and Joe Rogan asks him, and he just says, the reason they want me is because I have stopped all the stuff. You know what I mean? They could have had, he talks about the swing states. There was nearly, like, the swing states used to be won by probably 20,000 votes. You know what I mean? But they were putting 200,000 migrants into a couple of the swing states. New York State had nearly 200,000. They'd be no longer be swing states then anymore. You know what I mean? They'd be blue states forever. You know, this is a few minutes long, right? It'll get us up to 30. So, and we'll come back and talk about it. It's exactly what's going on here. I'm telling you now, it's exactly what's going on here.
Oh, so if I were to say, like, what's at the heart of the sort of, like, why is the Democrat propaganda machine so fired up to destroy me? That's the main reason. The main reason is that entitlements fraud. That includes, like, Social Security, disability, Medicaid. Entitlements fraud for illegal aliens is what is serving as a gigantic magnetic force to pull people in from all around the world and keep them here. Like, basically, if you pay people at a standard of living that is above 90% of Earth, then you have a very powerful incentive for 90% of Earth to come here and to stay here. But if you end the illegal alien fraud, then you turn off that magnet, and they leave, and they stop coming, and the ones that are here, many of them will simply leave. And if that happens, they will lose a massive number of Democratic voters.
And if it didn't happen, they would turn those people into voters.
Correct.
Which they were trying to do.
They're already turning them. So in New York State, illegal aliens can already vote in state and city elections. A lot of people don't know that. They're trying to fight that, they're trying to stop that, but they're currently, I think it's like 600,000 are registered to vote, illegal aliens in New York.
That is wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at, say, FEMA, like the agency that was paying for illegal aliens to stay at luxury hotels in New York was FEMA. That's an agency that's meant to support Americans in distress from natural disasters, was paying for luxury hotels for illegals in New York.
It's true. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Fact.
They're literally, like, when we stopped that payment, we stopped all those monies, because that's obviously an insane way to spend taxpayer money. New York sued the federal government to get the money. So you can just look at their lawsuit. They were sending that money even after President Trump signed an executive order saying it needs to stop. They still press send on $80 million to luxury hotels in New York. Your tax money went to pay for illegal aliens in luxury hotels in New York from an agency that is meant to help Americans in distress from natural disasters.
Right, and I would like to know how
up.
much. And I would like to know how much they spent on North Carolina and how much they spent on Maui.
Yes, exactly. What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters, and it's really just a matter of time. So, like, if a lot of people have trouble believing this, but the more you look at it, the more you will realize just how much of a problem this is, and how it's not just real. It is an attempt to destroy democracy in America. That's what, in my view, it is what it really is. Like, if you take the sort of 7 swing states, like often the margin of victory there is like maybe 20,000 votes. If you put 200,000 illegals in there, and they have like a 80% likelihood of voting Dem, and it's only a matter of time before they become citizens, then those swing states will not be swing states in the future. And if they are not swing states, we'll be a permanent one-party state country. Permanent, deep blue socialist state. That's what America will become.
And that was the game plan.
That was the game plan. That is still the game plan. And so they almost succeeded. If the machine of which the Kamala puppet was the representation had won, that's what would have happened. The reason I went so hardcore for Trump was because, to me, this was a fork in the road, a very obvious fork in the road. If they had another 4 years, they would legalize enough illegals in the swing states to make the swing states not swing states. They would be blue states. Then they would win the presidential. They'd win the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They would then make DC into a state, maybe Puerto Rico, get 4 extra senators, pack the Supreme Court. So then you'll have the House, Judiciary, Senate, and presidency, all blue. And then they will keep importing more illegals to cement that outcome. Basically what happened in California.
Jesus Christ.
It would have been the end. That's why I went so hardcore for Trump. It was otherwise been the end. And that's why the Democrat machine is so intent on destroying me.
It's just so fascinating that people can't see this.
I mean, I invite people to do their research. The more they do their research, the more they will see that what I'm saying is absolutely true.
I'm going to be honest, lads. I've seen it happening here in the last elections, in the local elections. Like how many Pakistanis and Indians got in around the country, lads, and black people. How many? You know what I mean? Like the mayor of Derry is black, and she's like a blatant. She's going around like she's on TikTok there as if she's a celebrity. Like, you know what I mean? She's one of the most hated women in the blatant country. You know what I mean? But
we had two Africans running in the local elections for Carlow Town. Now neither of them got in. They actually didn't do that well. But guess who was behind them, supporting them?
Yeah, I know.
People before profit.
Of course they were. Like diversity, this is it. And the Green Party. These were dead boys. These were brought into the Green Party 2 or 3 years ago. No one, listen, there's local
and actually,
things.
the woman from the Green Party down in Carlow as well, I think she was from Sweden. She wasn't Irish anyway. I think she was from Sweden.
Look at Tallaght. Look out in Tallaght. Papadom, Baby Papadom was his name. Baby Papadom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you drive down all the way down towards Abbottstown, all down around there, they were all Indians or Pakistanis or black people, because that place is flooded with them. Like Adamstown up in Leixlip there, or up in Lucan, it's Spot the Irishman up there. There's no Irish up there at all, or hardly any of them. You know what I mean? So that's how these people, they get into the councils, then they start. You know, that's what they do.
It's the same as over. Do you know what? I didn't take it down. I should have saved it. I seen it up on X a couple of times today, and I should have saved it. There was actually a picture of, again, like that. I think all Indians, and one was the Lord Mayor, one was, all like different areas in London and England. All in prominent positions, and they were all. I think they were. I don't think they were African. No, I think they were all Indian, as far as I can remember. I should have saved the photograph. I just forgot.
What was it?
It was a photograph. I just pinned it up on a couple of people's pages.
Yeah, just all the boroughs and councils and
mayors, but again, like that, they were pretty much all Indian.
So,
but it just showed that they're all in power.
Okay, so let's talk strategy. everybody knows what the problem is, or everybody in our circles knows what the problem is. But everybody's saying we have to do this, we don't have time, this, that, and the other. But nobody's talking about strategy. So strategy number one is the boycott. You boycott all their businesses. You have to boycott their businesses. You need to be active in your community, actively, publicly boycotting their businesses, standing at the door, discouraging other Irish people to go in there. It's perfectly legal. You are allowed to boycott. You're allowed to picket. So that's number one. So hurt them in the pocket. Number two is activism. You need to be out in your community telling people about the dangers of Islam, the dangers of uncontrolled immigration. There's lots and lots and lots of things you can do that don't require an awful lot of work. We need to drop the land of 1,000 welcomes. We're not welcoming anymore. We like people to come on their holidays and spend money, and you'll have the pint of Guinness, and we'll do a little dance.
And we'll have the crack with you. Yeah, we'll have the crack. Yeah, but then you go home.
Exactly. Yeah, you go home. So you're going to have to start being.
We'll stay in touch. We'll be friends on Facebook.
Stop being friendly. Stop smiling at these people. And look, there's a distinction between Christians and Muslims. I am far less hostile towards a Christian, Indian, Pakistani, or African than I am towards an Islamist, but I still don't want them here. So my manner may be a little bit different, but you still need to go home. And we've got some stuff we need to sort out in our own country. So even if you are Christian, but if you're not from this country, you need to go home. Because we've got some problems we need to fix ourselves, and I would say close very strict immigration for at least a decade, close our borders, nobody's coming in, no asylum, no nothing, and we will encourage people as strongly as possible to leave this country, those that shouldn't be here, through taxation, through souring of the milk, as I always say. But we need, this country needs a reset, because we never really got to find out who and what we are, and I want a decade for us to do that and fix our own problems. We never fixed any of our own problems. We never fixed our own crime rates. We never fixed our own health crisis. We never fixed our own housing. We never fixed anything. Successive governments have failed, and we need to reset. And the first thing we need to do is big fence around the country, close it all up, shut up shop, and look inward and fix some of our own woes. And then when society is functioning for the benefit of the indigenous Irish people, then we can look at small numbers of people who may contribute to our society, because we're going to tax the living shit out of you. You can come here and work, but you're paying 40% tax minimum on all your income. Then maybe we can allow a small percentage of people in only for the benefit of the indigenous Irish people. But everybody needs to harden up now and start getting real and start getting a little bit unfriendly. And I don't care how nice down the road is, or how nice Ali wants to takeaways or anything. I don't care. I don't care. I care about my people and my people's future and my people's future. I always go back to the line from Braveheart. Stephen, it's my island.
My country. This is my island. Yeah. Ha ha.
That's it. My island. And I'm going to protect it, and I'm going to protect my people. And I don't care about your people, and I don't mind saying that. Go home. Go home. It'll be safer. It'll be safer for you in the long run. Go home.
Yeah, there's banned again coming in there. No freebie for at least 5 years of paying tax. No home, schools, dole, anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, souring.
Now you have it.
Yeah, that's all.
Like if we're going away to Australia or America or anywhere, we have to have money in our pocket. Yes. We have to prove that we have income. We have to prove that we're
better to an inch of our life as well.
And we can prove that we're gonna better that country. That sort of way, more or less. You know what I mean?
And if you don't,
we're not going into sports. Exactly. You're deported.
As I said,
you can't do that.
You'll be out in the middle of the sea, whether there's a boat there for you or not, if you cross the line in these countries. But of course, we're just.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, I'd enforce that on the thing if I was the Brits. I'd be the man on the gun. I wouldn't give a shit, and I'd start posting the thing. I don't care. Lads, don't come. End the story. You're not allowed here anymore. That's it. Good luck to you. But they won't enforce it. You know what I mean? And that's what pisses me off. You know what I mean? The French dropped them off. The English picked them up, and then they bring them fucking in. It's a scam. That's all it is, a money-making scam.
Have you seen the video of the immigrants trying to cross the Polish border?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they're complaining that the Polish won't let them in, and the Polish army on the other side ready to shoot them. It's brilliant. Big barbed wire
Oh,
fences.
this from ages ago.
Yeah. But
And it was done. There's only a new one lately. They're allowed to shoot them now. Only in the last couple of months, I think. They weren't allowed to shoot them. I think they're only allowed now.
No country is perfect, but Hungary, Poland, and a few other Eastern Bloc countries are doing it right.
That's why they're being attacked.
Yeah, but look, listen. At the end of the day, the EU is going to collapse. It's inevitable at this point. They got too big for their boots, and the rug is going to be pulled out from under them. So, what's going to be left, economy-wise? Germany's going to be banjaxed. Too many immigrants. France is going to be banjaxed. They're the two biggest economies. Italy might be okay. And the
But there's a lot in Italy as well. Look at Milan and all that. It's destroyed.
But the smaller nations will lean. Especially the Eastern Bloc will lean east, and they'll look at Russia, and they'll look at Russia can supply us with gas, energy, this, that, and the other. Like the EU is finished. Like I give it maximum a decade. It's finished. The whole Europe is finished. To be honest with you.
But you remember when we went out and we were canvassing for elections, right? We would have met a lot of Polish people, and I'll tell you, there wasn't one single Polish person that I spoke to who wasn't livid about what was going on here. Absolutely livid. They didn't want them here. They wanted them out. They wanted them gone. You know what I mean? It was unbelievable. Not one Polish, as I said, person did I meet that wasn't.
I will say, right, I have to say, like, I've neighbours Polish, I've neighbours Nigerian, I've neighbours Russian. I think there's Ukrainian around there as well. I think there's about 12 different nationalities in here. Like, you know what I mean? But a lot of these families have been here. Like, I'm here 20 years. Like, these families have been here 20 years, like, living here. You know what I mean? And, like, the mother works 3 jobs and, you know, the usual, like, whatever. You know, the kids are all there. Everyone's grand. But I'd say most of them voted for me because of my stance on the immigration, because it was wrecking their lives as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? They could see it, especially the Polish and the Latvian lads. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Estonia, Hungary, Belgium, I met all those people at the doors and they were livid because they were all there saying, we're all working, we're paying our taxes, nothing was handed to us. But you know what they all have in common? They're all the same as us. They're all white and they're all Christian. Do you know what I mean? They don't want Islam here.
I'll just say to Irish Edition, I've seen a couple of your comments coming in. This one is actually good. What I'll say to you is, I don't have to hide my name.
Right, what's he saying? Poor Martin needs a mental health check.
Yeah, practically against everything at this stage, to a point where he comes across as terrified and paranoid about life in general.
Terrified. I don't need to hide my name, Irish Edition.
Yeah, here we are.
I don't need to hide where I live. I don't need to hide my beliefs. So, and like I said, I've seen the rest of your comments as well. There was one or two I was gonna stick up again. So, like I said, comment under your real name, and then I'll value your opinion. But until you actually put your real name out there, you're just noise.
Yeah. There is a lot of them now, to be honest with you. Martin, I think that you're saying there is inevitable anyway through balkanization. We will set up our communities parallel to the Marxist global woke one. We will promote and protect our heritage.
Yeah, well, that's the concept of what Conway is trying to do: self-sustainability, self-sufficientness. So we're going to build our own communities. You don't need government. You actually need government for very, very little. What the education system doesn't work, so you don't need that. You can teach your own kids. The health system is the scariest thing that can happen to you is get sick in this country, because like it's a third world health system. And what else do you need? What do you need other than government taking your hard-earned cash out of your pocket? What do you need government for? Small communities, we can look after ourselves. We don't need government.
Yeah, but even look at the schools. Like, you look at it now. Should we've proven that we can teach our kids at home during COVID? You know, we used to get sent the stuff, and we do it here, and like it was the same. You know what I mean? The kids loved it. You know what I mean? But they just missed their friends. You know, that's the only thing about it. But they were like, my kids would have their homework done early, and you'd have the homework and it'd be done, and
but
be off having the crack.
If you did that model, you only need to do about 2 hours of school per day online, and then let the kids out to play, and let them.
Well, that's what was happening during COVID.
Yeah, let's build a community where you can send your kids out to play, and you don't need to worry about them because the entire community is watching out for all the children of the
the way it used to be.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The way it used to be, like when we lived in Common Street, and then we saw Sheriff Street there, and people used to walk in and out of each other's houses, like, you know what I mean? We used to do it. We used to do it in St. Donna's when I lived there as well. Like we used to go in and sit in our mates' chairs because everyone knew everyone. You know, we all grew up, like, you know what I mean, and we knew everyone in the area, and everyone's door was open. You drive down St. Donna's now, like, you're lucky if you know 10 people, like, and nobody talks to each other even anymore. That's not a community, you know what I mean? You need a community of strong people that won't take any shit. You know what I mean? But instead, they're infiltrating these communities when the old people died, or taking the houses back to corpo or the council, and they're straight out to migrants to get them into the community and get them, get the votes. It boils down to votes again. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. Oh,
we have a couple of our libertarian viewers in, and Jaden has reached out a couple of times. I will get back to you at some point. I'm just extremely busy, but libertarian views are definitely going to form part of the future. Not quite as far as you want to go, but definitely there's some policies and ideas from the libertarian ideas that can be used. And who knows? It's probably libertarianism is interesting because I don't think, now correct me if I'm wrong, especially a libertarian who's listening. Has it ever been tried? Is there a country that ever went full libertarian? I don't think so. Now, it could be wrong, but if it was, I would be interested, because all of the systems have been tried and they've all failed. Capitalism is as close as we've got to fair society. You know what I mean? Whereas the current version of capitalism isn't really real. We're living in a kind of a totalitarian communist state at the minute. But capitalism works in the sense that if you go out to work and earn money, then you can carve out a successful life for yourself and buy things. And buying things then, puts money back into the economy. But it got the government's piece of the pie got too big, and the shareholders got too greedy, and that's why capitalism isn't working now. So there's definitely some ideas in libertarianism. Gerard Casey is a fantastic mind, and it's. I suppose the one time I got to talk to him was I asked him straight out, could libertarianism, are we mature enough to have libertarianism in Ireland? He said no. So, but we could take some of the ideas and some of the policies and wean our way off the current system and into something where, if you genuinely just get off your backside in the morning, you can succeed. And the system is there whatever system is there, it's there to help you succeed, not take your life's work away from you. I had no idea how much, I know they were taxed a lot, but I had no idea how much tax self-employed people, the entrepreneurs in Ireland and the people who own their own businesses and work 6 days a week and, 60, 70 hours a week. Do you know how much the government takes off them compared to other business? It is astounding. I mean, it must be up. It's nearly up if they have people working for them. You include PRSI, etc. It's nearly 50%. It's nearly 50%. So if you're really successful and you make, you happen to make 100 grand a year, the government take 50 fucking grand off you. It is insane. It is absolutely. And then you get nothing because you're self-employed. You get nothing. If you fall on hard times, there's no supports or anything. It's mad.
But look how many of these little shops have cropped up all over the country. Phone shops, vape shops. Like half the phone shops don't even open. You know what I mean?
I mean, you walk out of one barber's and say you trip outside, you're going to fall into another one. There's that many of them around the
No, it's true.
It's the truth.
Yeah, it is true. You know what I mean? Like, why do we need so many barbers? Do you know why? Because the place is going to be flooded with Muslims in the next 10 years. That's why. They're getting it ready. No country would ever be allowed to try a libertarian system. Tax farms would be given bad press if it was tried anywhere. Orla was relatively liberty orientated, and that's why the Brits ended it. We were live and let live kind of guys, weren't we? Yeah, Martin, Kev, what's that, Martin? If we got Kev on here to explain it, but private law and malicious can handle things like abuses from the rich, abuses from medical companies, and unfair labour practices. We could nearly do like something and talk about that, couldn't we? In the studio with them and just put it out then or something. We don't have to do it live.
Well, I'm saying one of your pop-up shows actually. If Jaden or one of the other guys came on and discussed it, it would be a very, very good conversation. Now, it's
I watched Kev's video today. It's quite cool. Yeah, I watched it today.
Is that the long video?
No, it's 6 minutes. But he gives a good account of what he's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? It is quite good. Like, but I think we just have him on and let him just tell it how it is.
What I mean? It'd be very interesting. Now, I'm not saying it's the total solution because it's not. But there's definitely elements to it. But there's no perfect solution. But if you take a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, and a little bit from column C, you may get a system that works. Libertarianism probably wouldn't have any form of safety net, whereas I have a big differential between those who can't and those who won't. Those who can't genuinely need to be looked after. My fear was that total libertarianism would let those people go by the wayside. Now, I could be ignorant in relation to all the intricacies of how it works, but you have to have a safety net, but you have to differentiate between those who can't and those who won't. Those who won't get nothing. Those who can't have to be looked after. The other thing then is because libertarianism goes towards we'll say total freedom, as in free trade, free movement of people. There's a big no-no in my books. But then again, they do respect the sovereignty of the individual and the sovereignty of nation. So, like I said, it's a complex discussion that needs to be had, and it needs to be woven into the future of this country, because there's enough good there that it warrants discussion and warrants being taken seriously. But it has to be a very nationalized patriotic form of libertarianism, as in, you know what I mean, we freedom for us, and then not care about what's happening in the rest of the world, kind of thing. But freedom of ideas is the most important thing. We don't even have that now, freedom of ideas. So that'll be the first thing that you'd be looking at from a libertarian point of view: freedom of discussion. You know what I mean? That people can actually throw the ideas out and have the conversation, to form policy, to form ideas, to sway public opinion, etc., etc.
Yeah, just reading there. I fuck all in common with outsiders, but yes, my labour through my effort is supposed to prop up. That's just fucking retard. Yeah, but Martin put it in a nutshell earlier on. The tree, you know what I mean? That one's on the state, one is at home, and you know the way you split it into three there earlier on, like, you know.
Connor has an interesting one there. Nationalism, not libertarianism, but nationalism alone doesn't work, because unfortunately the world just got too big and we're still too small. We can turn inward to 70-80%, but we still need allies, so to speak. So you can't go full nationalist. And then, who has actually fleshed out the full concept of what nationalism is? I'm 15 policies in that I've written, and I've only scratched the surface. You know what I mean? We have a lot of work to do before we can go to the electorate and genuinely offer a truly nationalist party. And Connor, reach out and we'll have a chat, because, like I said, we need input. We need input, and we need to spread the workload as well, because there's too few of us doing too much at the minute.
Yeah.
We need other ideas. We need conversations. We need committees. We need, like Paul and Orla, you see the WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's messages. It's hard to do it all. So everybody, just stick your oar in. Nobody's going to be turned away, because there can be a committee for absolutely everything. You know what I mean? We can put you in a group of like-minded people. You don't have to get into this group where you're debating and fighting your corner all the time. It's a case of we will put you in groups with like-minded people, and you can form a coherent policy that we can offer to the Irish people. The policy will be scrutinised. I won't lie to that. It will be scrutinised. A committee, an AC will go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Look for improvements, look for flaws that might get sent back to you to look, you need to amend this, that, and the other. But whatever committee you're in, the people in that committee, you have 100% autonomy. You're going to have control over that. You decide what comes out of that committee and what direction it takes through a democratic voting process. Like I said, the concept is fantastic, but it's all just words at the minute because we still don't have enough people. You know what I mean? We have some people and we have committees up and running already, but we need more. We need more. We need ideas being churned out. We need policy being churned out. We need people who will sit and research and work and put in hours. And I'm not talking, do an hour here and there. I'm looking for 10, 15 hours per week, which isn't easy to do if you're working a 40-hour week or more. But that is the commitment that is going to be required. It's Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call, WhatsApp message after WhatsApp message after WhatsApp message. It takes work and it takes time, and it's completely unfunded, and you're going to be doing it off your own bat, but it is the right thing to do. Rant over.
Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Right, I'm just going to look at this here. Pull that in there. The kids. I got it now. No, I'll keep talking there for a minute. I'm just there. It is there. Yeah.
I would have kept going. I thought I cut off because I thought you were getting bored.
No. Just
Orla, what's the cracking, Carlo? Here's while Paul's doing that. Why aren't you on the beer? It's the Paddy's Night Eve, and should we all have work on Tuesday tonight?
I don't actually have any bummers in the house.
What? I'm no gargle here either, but I have a bottle of Morgan Spice and a bottle of orange, and I'm drinking it.
No, I generally don't have drink in the house. So I don't. So look, I have to be fresh tomorrow. Put on a good front.
No, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play out tonight with the kids. Did you see the video of the kids singing the national anthem, singing out?
Oh, is this going up in Belfast? Is it?
Yeah. So that's a minute. It's a minute and 2 or 3 long. So we'll cut it out here at about an hour and a minute. And I'll drop you down, all right? And Martin, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Is it done?
Brilliant. Done, yeah. It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
I know, flute's nice.
Martin, I'll talk to you down in a minute. Go on, talk to you. Cheers, mate. Thanks for everything. Orla, talk to you in a minute. Night, God bless. But just gonna click in here. But we had the kids from from Belfast, so I'm gonna go with that now, okay? But I'm gonna go. I'll finish off with this, okay? Like I do every other night. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You just let it loose, and it will defend itself. Good night and God bless. I'll leave you with the kids.